Nam yo ho ning ge cho 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 nam yo ho ning ge.
Hi, I'm Margaret, and this is the website where we take Buddhist philosophy and practice and apply them to the problems of everyday life. So today, we're going to be talking about, are you trying to avoid a difficult problem? Have you ever heard this or thought this to yourself? I hate this problem. I just want to get away. Then I wouldn't have to deal with it. It would be so much easier just to leave. And many people do this. It's called the geographical solution. They think that by going somewhere else, leaving the problem behind, they can just avoid the whole thing. Unfortunately, it won't work if you haven't learned the lesson presented to you by the problem situation. Have you noticed that there's one problem that seems to crop up over and over in your life? There's the person who's had 4 spouses, the person who keeps regaining the weight. There's the problem of addiction, and a person who runs one business into the ground after another. You might think that leaving town is going to solve the problem, but no matter how far you run, there you are. When you face a problem, a difficult problem, you're engaging in a spiritual struggle. And every time you have to face a problem, you're going to have to engage with this spiritual struggle. You can anticipate that this will always happen when you have to confront having to change in some way. You'll have to engage and overcome your own negativity, the tried and true solution that has never worked. You can maximize your strengths or give in to your weaknesses. And it's this very struggle that makes chanting for a goal so challenging. You're not alone in this. It happens to everyone. Do you remember the lotus flower, the Renge in Nam Myoho Renge Kyo? The lotus flower is deeply rooted in a dirty, slimy, muddy pond. And when its roots are well planted and nourished in the muck, it grows and opens a beautiful lotus flower. What do you think would happen if the lotus was planted in a clean container of water? Well, it just wouldn't bloom. It needs the muck of the pond to open its wonderful flower. And like the lotus flower, we achieve our human potential, our human revolution, when we have our roots deeply planted in the muck of everyday life. The muck represents the problems and troubles we have to face. But often we resist having to deal with them. We procrastinate or try to avoid them. But these very problems are actually the stepping stones for the flower of our higher universal self to bloom. You might say our problems are gifts in disguise. They're the lessons our karma dictates we need to learn. As Satori Azumi, former guidance leader in Japan, said, quote, "In order to attain your human revolution, you have to stay in the pond and struggle to grow right in that mud." This, of course, is the principle of turning poison into medicine, where you confront your problem and turn it into something of value. When facing a difficult challenge, it can be really hard to believe that gearing in and overcoming this situation will create a strong foundation for the rest of your life, but it will. So this means that if you have a difficult relationship at home, in the community, in the organization, or some other kind of challenging problem, it's important to stay in the situation and use it as fuel for your human revolution. If you go to older practitioners with a problem, they'll say, "Congratulations, now you have something to chant about." And they've given you the key to chant sincere, heartfelt daimoku to the Gohonzon. This is how you can resolve the situation or change your karma. If you need a boost, chanting about it will give it to you. Your connection with the universe through your Buddha nature will create the connections and conditions that will move your situation in a positive direction. And as we all need to remember, our circumstances arise from the inside of us to manifest in the outside world. So in order to resolve our problem, we have to change ourselves. So how do we chant about a difficult problem? How do you chant the kind of sincere daimoku and ganyo you need to have for dealing with a difficult problem? You double down. As Mr. Izumi would say, Quote, when you sit in front of the Gohonzon, apologize sincerely for trying to escape from the pond. Then set a clear and positive objective. Seeing it as it already done, chant a fighting Ganyo, challenging, confronting your problem situation, committing to a firm resolve that you will be victorious. You don't have to know how it's going to work out. No one ever knows this when first chanting about a problem. But do take the steps that come to you while chanting or during the day. This radical deepening of our own chanting of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo gives rise to a great transformation and a shift in our own mindset. When we transform our attitude and thinking, then the environment around us changes and the problem comes to resolution. So today, in summary, we discussed that running away from our problems never works. No matter how far we run, there we are. And then we covered the fact that we in the lotus flower require the muck of the pond and the muck of everyday life to open the flower of enlightenment. Finally, we covered the steps to chanting the fighting Daimoku that will move your situation forward. Here are some related vlogs that I think you might like. Number 1, are you letting the universe have your back? Number 2, know why a determination is important when chanting for a goal. Number 3, are you unsure about how to chant about a complex problem? Now, as always, I'd really like to hear from you. Tell me about topics you might like to hear about, and tell me what you like and don't like. I'm always interested in hearing what you think. And if you have an experience to share, please send it. I'll see you all in 2 weeks.